How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Cares. You are watching You Don't Scare Me. Today we're going to be checking out some scary videos that will truly haunt you. But first, Nick and I were over in our in a local legendary cemetery, and we caught some really interesting stuff this time. Like, we didn't really take it too seriously, so we were having a bit of fun. But this past weekend we did our paranormal investigation. You guys will be seeing that very soon. I'm in the middle of like editing it. It is a bit of a longer one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into smaller videos. So they'll probably be like 20-minute videos, you know, episode 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll conclude the whole series with Nick and I coming together, sitting on a couch, and sort of discussing the evidence that we collected. Nick hasn't seen any of the video footage or any of the cuts yet. He's going to do his own cut. It's going to be called the Schneider cut. It's going to be Nick's cut and then Karis's cut, and then you'll be able to see, because Nick and I both have a different opinion on what's interpreted as data or as like paranormal evidence. And a lot of the times, like even in the original St. Joseph Cemetery, I did, by the way, I found the original footage on my drive. I have it. Nick didn't, like, we didn't lose it. The reason we haven't recut that one or tried to go back and like remaster it and try to figure out how to get like more samples out of it was because we thought we had lost the footage, and I have a good portion of it, as well as all of the raw footage that myself and the camera guy that we had at the time recorded. I have that footage, which means I also have the EVPs that we collected, like the why do you hate me too, which Nick was not able to isolate. I did a great job isolating it. It was fantastic evidence in my opinion. I also have like knocking and specific like footsteps and whispers in the microphone that Nick wasn't able to pick up or even translate it into the video. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, comment down below. Let me know if you guys want to see that evidence, or if you're okay with just, you know, going on to the next thing. I do have it. I'm planning on uploading it at some point. I just need to like trim it up and use my new technical knowledge as well as the updates for DaVinci to try to like make, you know, the sound a little bit better, and, you know, voice isolation. I even like put like the settings on the side of the video so that as the voice isolation goes up, you know that you're losing some quality, as well as like what levels and what settings I had to do to get that audio to come through. Super awesome. Anyway, this last investigation was fantastic. We spent like 6 hours there. We are planning to go back because we did collect quite a bit of EVPs. We heard some stuff, and the cool thing about this place is that we aren't next to a road, and we aren't next to anybody's house or anything like that. It is a cemetery, again, because like Nick and I don't have the budget or anything like that to go into houses, or we don't have the proliferation to actually like do some like in-person investigations inside of establishments, so we have to rent the space or whatever. So we are doing some public spaces for the most part. But the cool thing about this one is that it's very isolated, which means all the sounds that we're picking up isn't like people driving by on the road next to the cemetery, or, you know, people walking through the city parks or anything like that, because it's outside of the city limits. It's in the farm country area. Yes, you will still hear the sound of cars probably driving by, because there is a highway that's like, you know, 500 meters or so, I don't know, large measurement. It's like, it's far enough away that Nick and I couldn't hear the car, but you might pick it up on the microphone. I don't know. We'll see. Super awesome. Really excited about that. We gave the spirit box a try, the ghost phone a try. It didn't totally pan out the way that I was hoping to, so I know what to do in the future, what, you know, changes I want to do to the program, or the changes, not program, sorry, to the hardware to make it work better. I couldn't get the microphone working, so we ended up using my shotgun mic to speak through the static. And we did get some interesting responses, but nothing too substantial. Not to like downplay it or anything like that. I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to show it to you. So hit the subscribe button, drop the like, maybe hit the notification bell to know when it's coming out. I am hoping to have the first video out on Saturday of this Saturday coming up. Just the first 20 minutes of footage that I've, you know, put together. I will probably release all the raw files at some point so that you can just go in and like, you know, find all the information and stuff and go through and do your own investigation. And then I'll have a cut, Nick will have a cut, and we'll have a, you know, a full feature length, which will probably be over an hour with the stuff. But the first episode should only be about 20 minutes, and it should be coming to you very soon. So stick around for that. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this spooky video. That one. Cool.
A woman was casually filming a beauty TikTok, convinced she was alone in the room, focused on her routine.
She was.
Nothing strange at the time, but when she later reviewed the clip, she caught something eerie.
Hit the photo stop with it. Then you stop, then you hit the molly bob with it. Boom, 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 boom.
In the background,
She's not beatboxing, is she? Is that actually her beatboxing? First off, that was a super weird video. I didn't really like a lot of that.
Others believe it might be something.
It's The Grudge, and she's also kind of like looking into that direction, expecting to see it. Something that I really want to point out really quickly, this is a TikTok influencer, and that person is trying to gain more views so they can increase their followers and then also gain revenue off of this. So one thing to consider with this, when you take these videos with a grain of salt, because what they're trying to do is to try to attract a second audience. They have their primary audience, which are the people who come for beauty or makeup or tutorials or whatever the heck it is. And then you have your second audience that you're trying to dip into the paranormal and get them to come over. People will come over for the ghost and they'll stay for your content, especially if you're a cute girl. Not saying she was, not really my thing, but especially with the weird, I don't know what she was doing, trying to beatbox or something. But in any case, I'm losing my track here. What I'm trying to say is that these influencers are trying to dip into another pool of potential viewers and get them to stick around for their content later on. Most people will hit the subscribe button and totally forget the channel exists if it never posts ever again. Like, look at my subscriptions. I've subscribed to over like 20,000 channels, and half of those channels have been dead for years. But they've still got my subscription.
Subway workers experienced something they couldn't explain.
Is the train currently moving? Yes, it is. Okay, the video is super compressed, so I've actually like language barriers here. I have no idea what's actually going on here. Okay. So another train pulled in. The conductor, the AI Nazi conductor down here in the bottom left, isn't helping anything. What is
the last station where no more trains were expected? A train mysteriously rolled in. The disturbing part? There was no conductor, no passengers, no reason for it to be there at all.
That's purely speculation.
Decided to visit an
you're saying that, but like,
first it seemed
you didn't show me the conductor, you didn't show me the aftermath, so you're saying what that's, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that requires a huge leap of faith for me to trust that you are giving me the actual truth. Okay, so the framing on this is a little weird. I don't really understand what's going on here. She seems to be in a cemetery with a black plastic bag and gloves on, so she's clearly collecting something or perhaps leaving something behind. But the video isn't of her. The video is of the background. See, because she's in the bottom corner, or she's in the bottom of the frame, but his focus isn't the bottom of the frame. His focus isn't her. It's what's happening behind her. She just happens to be in the frame too. Like, you see there's an object back here. You see that? See that? Now he's focusing on her now. See what I mean? It wasn't framed around her. He's trying to dismiss that, you know. This is a production. His focus was on the background to show you that, and immediately after seeing it, he... Yeah, it's not a visual illusion, it's a person. Yeah, in any case. Bullshit.
A man working late inside his car garage.
It would make more sense to me if he just caught it out of the corner of his eye, or if he was like filming her and goes, "What the hell?" And, you know, they get startled. That would be way more credible. That is not what happened there.
The place was silent. Just him, his tools, and the steady hum of the lights. But as the camera rolled, something odd happened.
Okay. That is that's a pressure system. You're pulling down the lever to apply pressure so that you can like meld two materials together or seat two materials together. That's a press. right? It's a hydraulic press is what it is. So the hydraulic press is releasing pressure, or releasing releasing the pressure, which is causing the arm to vibrate frequently. Now, this isn't paranormal. This is a blown, like a gasket or a leak in the system that's releasing the pressure. It shakes like that because it's that arm is, integral to the to the system, I guess you can say. I don't know what to say. The point is that arm is connected to the piston, and as the piston releases the pressure, that arm loosens up, is what I'm trying to say. And so what's end up happening here is that his tool has a leak in the seal that's causing air to escape, or the pressure to rapidly decrease, which is causing the arm to vibrate like that. It's not a ghost.
The equipment shifted all by itself.
It didn't shift all by itself.
Unable to make sense of what he'd just seen.
It's under tension, and that tension is releasing.
With him.
Morons.
The team behind Simply Seraph visited a crumbling colonial-era building rumored to be haunted.
Rumored to be haunted. Not guaranteed to be haunted. Ghosts aren't real, doesn't really matter. But there's a translation issue. We can basically say whatever we want here. Oh, he's talking about this really famous pie company in Mississauga. I just heard that. Oh, where did he? I don't know. You're too lazy to translate what he said, so you're just going to have to take my word on it. By the time you realize that I was lying about that, you will have already given me your time and viewership, and I would have gotten a bounce back. And then you come back to my video for a second view so that you can tell me and I'm an idiot. Now you're interacting with my video because you left a comment down below saying I'm an idiot, and he wasn't talking about pie at all. I still win. You'll find that the voices of morons is louder than you. You go into any live stream and try to say something, and you see your comment go away. It's going to be the same one day with our channel. If we get popular enough, or we're producing enough content or interesting enough content, you'll see that happen. I'll say something really stupid, and everyone will be like, "Oh my God, you're so smart!" And then whatever. I'm not really sure what just happened there. They're trying to raise the tension by twitching and doing their stuff. These guys are entertainers to begin with. They're acting to raise the stakes and to make it seem. Are you suggesting that log? Are they suggesting that log was thrown at them or fell?
What's the reason?
Oh, they're English. It's English.
Because.
If yes, you can give us any signs. If you want any help, please convey it.
Why are they speaking English now? Are they not in their country? Why is the ghost speaking English?
Do you want any help? No.
Do you want a Big Mac? Yeah! Do you want to shit in Mother Maggie's shoes? Yeah! Okay. Someone's vaping. Okay, there's a dark shape in the back. Okay, so somebody's standing in the doorway and they're vaping over it.
Once within, the activity escalated. Eerie voices echoed through the dust-filled air.
Oh, jeez. Okay, is this the rest? Okay, that better not be the rest of the video.
Until the audio picked up something strange.
Those guys are full of shit. It's the thing with East Asian content like that is that they're very Bollywood. They like to drum up the drama. Drama is their big ticket there. So a lot of the times when you're watching their videos, it's very easy to tell what's real and what's fake, and it's all fake. Caveat, it's all fake. But the difference is that it's easy to tell because they're so cinematic with their with their paranormal evidence. A lot of Blair Witch Oh, I've seen this before.
Such a beautiful day. Yes.
So they're walking,
Amazing. Oh, so worth all the
and they're recording themselves. So they've created a legend here by saying the Appalachian hay, as if we're already pre-understanding that, like, or that they're giving us that information to say you should know that this is a legend, a local legend, that somebody says hay on this road. So the fact that you see hay, and like the way that they look at each other and continue to film, it's very tongue in cheek. Like, this girl over here can't keep her face straight. She's having a laugh because she's like, she's having this video. Um, they're pulling a prank, and she can't keep a straight face to save her life. And then you're expected to believe that it's true, even though she's like teethy grinning. Ugh, silly. We're just gonna gloss over this whole thing. It would be different if somebody yelled "hey" next to their head, but the "hey" came as she stepped off of the over the log.
Could it have been another hiker hidden in the woods or something else entirely?
Stupid.
A woman went solo camping deep in the
I
Appalachian.
didn't even hear it myself. If I had the raw file, I still wouldn't hear
The
it.
first day was uneventful, but that night, distant screams echoed through the trees.
You just wanted to be in the video. Say hi.
Glamping, not camping. Sorry. Oh, it says glamping. Okay, so I can't hear anything. Let's just assume that somebody's screaming in the background. You're glamping, which means that you are camping in a camper in a provincial park or a campground, which means you're surrounded by other people. If you're glamping in the backcountry, it's not glamping, it's camping. All right, you don't need to be in a tent in the backcountry and consider it glamping. You know, the glamour of camping is going to a provincial campground and sleeping on the floor in a tent, or sleeping in basically a mobile home, so that you're outside of your personal home, but not outside in danger. And so basically what she's saying here is that there's a screaming in the background. There's a couple of things that can cause screaming. One, the fact that you are camping in a provincial campground or something like that, and anybody who's camped in a provincial campground knows for a fact that there are always children screaming in the middle of the night, or teenagers going on and drinking and having a time and playing music really loud unless you're in a radio-free campground. Number two, animals like to scream too. We are not the exclusive owners of screaming. Think about foxes. Foxes will scream, and they sound like people being mutilated sometimes. They're very loud, and they sound like that. If you're in around Oregon, or you're up in certain like Montana and stuff, bobcats or cougars, they also scream like women being. I say women because it's a high-pitched scream, and it sounds like they're in distress. And a lot of times it's just an animal, okay? Now, if you're in a campground like this and you're hearing somebody screaming and it sounds disheartening, it sounds like somebody's being hurt, call the ranger. They're more than happy to come out and put a stop to it or help. You know, you're basically just, you're taking somebody's screams and you're attaching a fake pseudo religious sort of thing to it, where you're saying it's a ghost, and now there's a person who's in distress, like that lady who was in the forest when her husband collapsed. Everybody was like, oh, it's a ghost. No, it's a person in distress, and you have caused further grief by believing that this person was an aperture, or like a apparition or something. You know what I mean? It's silly to me. So in this case, I kind of heard the scream. The problem is you put freaking music over it. That's an animal. The dog's barking because it hears it too. That sound sounds to me, it sounds like a fox screaming.
Super far away, by the way.
Because they do that, they yell like that.
They weren't human, yet didn't match any animal she knew. Her dog grew tense.
Any animal she knew, she doesn't look like she's exactly the expert on biology or you know.
The Appalachians are filled with strange voices and spirits.
Yeah, the Appalachians are a really interesting place to go, but it is a vast place. The Appalachians isn't a small thing; it's a vast.
A man heard loud banging.
Okay, interesting choice. That's actually Pripyat, but all right.
Investigate, but he found no one there. Then something even stranger occurred.
No, I've been to Scotland, so I'll tell you right now, it's fake. Okay, so what you're seeing is somebody who has broken into a. You've seen somebody who's broken into an abandoned building to do some urban exploration, and is trying to force their way out this door. They're trying to knock the wood off the wall or off the window. It's not a ghost; it's a person. It's an urban explorer or a hooligan who's trying to use a broom or a stick or something to push the, you know.
A dusty, tattered...
It does look like there's nobody in there, but I would hazard a guess to say that somebody's worried about getting hit or hurt by the debris, and they're using a board or a broom handle to push the wall or push the wood away.
Farmhouse with a dark legend. The former residents all perished mysteriously.
Kind of see me a little bit.
Say what?
He investigated a decaying farmhouse with a dark legend. The former residents all perished mysteriously.
Kind of see me a little.
Okay, can you give me a little bit more? I found this barn. All the people in there died mysteriously. All right, let's explore.
Terrifying looking. What the hell?
Mysteriously, I don't know what to say about that. It's really stupid.
Careful.
It's really silly.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Can you imagine going in there and graffitiing all those frowny faces?
This is a big house, so I can see why this guy was like depressed.
Okay.
Oh look.
So it wasn't mysterious. He offed himself.
Picture of the family. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
He kicked the chair.
That's a picture of them here. Little tiny one.
Tiny picture, tiny family.
Dog.
Tiny face, tiny bits, tiny mouth, little bits. Stay out. You're already in. You missed that. You missed that chance, buddy.
Some like Chinese.
Should have sprayed that on the door. Too late. I'm already in here. I'm gonna explore now.
So whatever that's dead downstairs probably used to live up here. Whoa, you guys, look at this.
Yeah, it's an old abandoned.
The lamp started moving.
No, it didn't.
I don't think that wasn't me.
Sure, it was. If the lamp moved, it was you.
Captured odd noises. While exploring the attic, a light bulb began swaying.
Is whoever killed himself in here? Are you here with us right now? Are you in this house? I'd like to know your story.
So all the inhabitants mysteriously died. They kicked the chair, and it was only one guy.
This device that I'm holding.
The lamp didn't start swinging on its own. I really don't like the fact. Hang on. It's an AI voice now, but wasn't it a woman at the beginning of the video? Is he just taking other people's compilations and cutting them up and sticking them together and re-releasing them? I'm pretty sure the dialogue... Anyway, the narrator changed at some point. I'm gonna say you're in an abandoned house.
Julie. Who's Julie? Was
with an app that's meant to get ghosts. God damn. When you have an app like this, it is specifically designed to give you evidence so that you'll pay for the premium or the ads, to get rid of ads or whatever, sell the program. Bullshit. First off. Second off, you're in an abandoned house.
Is Julie your wife?
Full of animals. Come on.
Ew, what the f*** is that?
Ew.
Now's your time before I leave.
Alright, we're going to end the episode here. I'm going on 25 minutes. That's my quota. I'm not supposed to go over 25 minutes. In any case, if you guys like what we do here, hit the subscribe button, drop the like. Stay tuned for the ghost hunt that's coming out. I will have it completed very soon. Episode 1 should be coming out by the end of the week. I'm pretty confident in that, and I really hope you stick around to see that. Without further ado, I guess, yeah, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for laughing with me. Thanks for pressing your thumbs into your eyeballs with me. Okay, love you. Bye.